I think we're live. Hello, everyone. This is Jacqueline Russell from the MakeCode team, and I'm here with
Cyan and Sage.
And we're here with another episode of MakeCode in the Kitchen, where every Friday we come to you from our kitchen with a fun making and coding activity that you can do with your kids while everyone's under quarantine due to the coronavirus. So, you guys, what did we make last episode?
We made
Mother's
flowers
Mother's
for
Day.
Mother's Day.
Yeah, we made these gorgeous Mother's Day bouquets because it was Mother's Day.
We haven't been coding for 2 weeks.
Yeah, we took a little bit of a break, but so the last episode was in Mother's Day. Yeah, as Cyan's demonstrating, it was sound-activated electronic bouquets.
I can't clap right now.
That we made for our moms. So that was fun. And then what did we do like the week before?
We made battle bots.
That's right. We made battle bots with what, Sage?
With circuit playgrounds.
That's right.
And servo motors.
That's right. Yeah. So we used servo motors with our circuit playground.
And servo motors are these are those blue things.
Mm-hmm.
This blue thing.
Yeah. And what do they do?
And they're connected to the microbit.
The circuit playground. Yep.
And they rotate.
They do. Yeah. They rotate how far?
Well, some of them rotate all around, and some of them rotate just like,
just 180 degrees,
yeah.
right? Yeah. So, so this week we thought we would also work on servo motors, but we're using a different type of servo motor than we used for our battle bots. So for our battle bots, we used what's called 180 degree servo motors, right? So
and
they just
today
rotate.
We're going to be using continuous servo motors.
Continuous servo motor. So, Cyan, can you tell us the difference? What is a continuous servo motor? Because if you look at them, they look very similar, right?
Yeah.
They're both these sort of little boxes things. But what's the difference?
The difference between both of these is that one can turn all the way around
360 degrees, right?
Whereas the other one can only turn 90 degrees.
And
that's right.
One of them just has one.
Scooch over. Yeah.
One of them just has one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they come with different servo arms that you can put on. Yeah. So this one is like kind of just a half an arm. This is our 180 degree servo arm. So again, it only rotates this like 180 degrees this way. And then this one has an arm that, that goes across. And this one goes around and around and around, right? 360 degrees. So, Cyan, what's good? What kind of projects can you use these 360 degree servo motors for?
You can use them for robots, like for wheels.
That's right. Wheels would be good.
And like if you wanted to make like a pretend helicopter.
That's right, like
or like a shield that spins around.
Or a shield that spins round and round and round.
With a sword. That's 180 degrees.
Oh.
Or if you wanted to make
shield so you could do like 180 degree servo motor and a continuous servo motor in the same project.
Or if you wanted to make something creepy.
Something creepy.
You can make a creepy doll with this that spins its head around.
Oh my gosh, that would be super, super creepy. Or like some sort of pulley system or something that goes around, maybe something like that. Yeah. So lots of cool projects you can do with continuous servo motors. But what are we doing today, you guys?
We are doing robots.
That's right. So we built these amazing rover robots with the servo motors as wheels. Sage, do you want to explain to us your robot here that you made? And then Cyan can explain hers.
So mine, I made like a frog.
Oh, it's a frog. Nice.
So it has like this long tongue.
Super long tongue I see here.
So when it moves, you can tap
use the tongue.
Use the tongue to tap.
To tap it with, yeah.
To like turn it.
Yeah. And I see you've got the wheels or the servo motors attached to each side here of your frog. Is that correct, Sage?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I see you've also got like little googly eyes on your frog.
And Cyan made these.
And the circuit playgrounds. You got 2 of them, right? One for each servo motor.
Yeah. Cyan made these 2 balls that you can put them in the frog's mouth.
Oh, it's like food. The frog has to eat it
to make it more fun.
Oh, nice.
But you can choose to do that.
Okay, so you like throw it in and then it like eats it up.
Yeah.
With its tongue. I like it. Like hungry hippos. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, I love your frog robot. Does it have a name?
No.
No name? Okay.
No name.
No name frog rover robot. Very cool. All right. Cyan, you want to tell us a little bit about your
All right.
robot here?
Once upon a time, in a galaxy far, far away, Star Wars. All right. So, little R2 here got in a little battle with another robot and got disassembled. And so Luke Skywalker sent me his parts, and this is what the model, and this is the model for the
wow,
I am
that's
testing
amazing.
its speed.
So tell us how you made this. This is quite interesting. So it looks like it's a cup. Is this a paper cup that you used?
Yep, paper cup.
Okay.
And then I just printed out some.
You printed out like
some Star Wars stuff.
Yeah.
And then
R2D2's body, and you like taped it onto the cup.
Yep. And then I also attached battery packs, and then
the circuit playgrounds at the top here.
Yep. And then I used golden tape because it's kind of like gears and stuff.
That's right. Gold is more like C3PO though. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's still like kind of like mechanical.
And I noticed also you put some wooden sticks at the bottom kind of for stabilization.
Yep.
Okay, good. Well, this is amazing. Some very cool robots. So are we ready for our robot race?
Wait.
Oh, wait.
What about yours?
Oh, okay. Show mine. Okay. So I made the grumpy robot. I was in a bad mood that day. I was a little bit stir crazy from staying in the house. So this is the grumpy robot. As you can see, I used googly eyes.
She lives here.
Yeah, it's kind of a blah environment, right? And I just cut out a cardboard box. I put my servo motors on the bottom here with the wheels attached here, and my circuit playgrounds on the top. So that's my grumpy robot. So without any further ado, what do you think? Should we have a race?
Wait, who wears it better?
Very cute. I don't know. You look shockingly just like my robot. Cyan. Okay, so we're gonna actually do a robot rover race to see who's is fastest. So give us a second to actually set this up. So Andrea is going to operate my rover while I do the camera. So please get your robots lined up. I'm gonna try and get the best angle here to see. So this is what we have. We've got a race. Please turn on your batteries if you don't have your batteries turned on.
Do I?
Okay. Turn on both of your batteries. Yep. Okay, get your fingers on the A buttons. Remember, where are the A buttons on both of your circuit playgrounds? Okay. Ready? Are you guys ready for this?
Yeah.
On your marks.
Oh.
Get set. Go! Oh dear. Oh dear.
Go! Go!
Yes! Oh! It looks like Cyan's the winner here.
Well, that's because mine's going in circles.
gonna turn on for your robots? All right.
Well, it looks like the speed works.
So, that was a great race. Sage is a little disappointed that Frogger didn't win.
I think mine's the most stable.
Yeah, I think yours was definitely had that straight trajectory, which helps with that. So let's get into how we made these. So the first thing is, if you haven't watched our episodes before, we use something called the Circuit Playground Express. So Sage or Cyan, can you explain what this is?
Mini computer.
It's a mini computer. Yeah.
It has buttons, A and B.
It has buttons. Yeah. What else does it have on it?
Sensor.
Has an infrared sensor.
Lights.
It has lights. It has a reset button. It has a memory. It has a sensor.
Mm-hmm.
A bunch of sensors. It has.
Yep. What else? It has a temperature sensor. It has a sound sensor.
It can hold up to
light sensor.
It can hold up to 9 volts.
5.
5.
Yep. Yeah. So with this project, we're actually going to be using the lights, and we're going to be using the buttons, and also the pins. So you'll notice that around the edge of the board, there's all these different pins. These are or holes. These are called pins on the Circuit Playground Express. And that's how we're going to be attaching our servo motor to this, right? So there's actually a really good guide on Adafruit's website. So I'm just going to show you that really quickly. This is on Adafruit's website, the Circuit Playground Express. So you can see all the description of the different pins and what they do. So there's pins that give power. So we're going to be using this V-out pin to give power to our servo motors. And we're going to be using one of the ground pins. And then we're also going to be using this A1 pin as the signal pin we're going to connect to our servo motor. So with that said, I think we need to go over all of the materials that we need for our project, right?
Yeah.
So what do we need? We need the Circuit Playground Express base pack, which you can order from Adafruit's website. It's about $30 to get this base pack. And inside of it, what do we have inside of it?
Inside of it, we have batteries.
Mm-hmm.
We have
Batteries.
We have a battery pack.
A battery pack. Yep.
We have cables.
Yep, a USB cable, and then the actual Circuit Playground Express board. So that's what you're going to need. You're actually going to need two boards for this project. We use 2 Circuit Playground Express boards for this. All right, the next thing you need is a continuous servo motor, right? And you can pick those up at Amazon. They're relatively inexpensive. They're about $4 or $5. They usually come in like packs of 2 or 4, and you'll get the servo motor and also some wheels and the servo motor arms with it. So you can get these. And then you'll also need, can you hand me those cables? You'll need male to croc clip jumper wires. And you'll need 3 of them.
Right? You can have any color.
Yeah, the colors don't really matter on these cables. So you can get these in packs of like a dozen or something like that.
I wish I got a green.
Yeah, for your frog.
Yeah.
So, and just to be clear, one end has like a croc clip, kind of like this little clippy thing. And the other end has a male jumper wire, and that's just to connect into the servo motor cable. All right, so you need 6 of those, 3 for each servo motor. What else do we need?
We need stuff.
You also, what I would suggest is you have a small screwdriver, because these come with little screws to screw in the servo motor arm. So if you have just like one of these small kind of screwdrivers, that's also useful to have. And then materials for your robot. So we just use like pieces of cardboard for Sage's, right? And then Cyan used a paper cup. I used it on the old box.
How do you open the clip?
You just have to press. So these croc clips, you just press to open.
Okay.
Just like that. And then, you know, markers or paint to decorate it. Googly eyes are also fun. You know, anything you can think up to sort of decorate your robot. If you have a certain plan going in, like Cyan wanted the R2D2, you can think about doing something like that. So, oh, hot glue. So this one, I highly recommend that you actually use hot glue to glue on your servo motors. So if you have like a glue gun or some glue sticks, I do recommend that.
I made an extra long one.
Oh, cool.
Mom?
So yeah,
What
so
about
glue
the
gun.
duct tape?
Yeah, and then tape and scissors as well, just to attach things on would be good. So I think that's pretty much it for the materials that you need.
What about
What else?
Did you say cardboard?
I did say cardboard, yeah. Yeah, so cardboard for the body, or like paper cups or paper plates or paper bowls or something.
Use You could
What else?
use pipe cleaners for
Pipe cleaners?
sandwiching
Yeah.
if you want.
For like arms or something, right?
Yeah, or jewels.
Or jewels, yeah.
Googly eyes.
Google anything, yeah.
Anything you can get your hands on.
Yep.
Paper.
Yeah. So what's the first step that we did to make our robots?
First step we did was design them.
Right. We made the bodies. So take your cardboard and kind of fashion it how you want the body of your robot to be. Make sure you think about where you want to put the servo wheels. And so you can kind of place those to see where you want to attach them as you're making your robot. And then the next step is to actually assemble your servo motors. And so it's a little bit tricky. Let me just show you. The first thing I would do is they come with wheels. So you're going to want to take your wheel and attach it to the servo motor arm. So the arm looks like this. And you're going to want to use those screws and that screwdriver to screw in and attach your wheel to the servo motor arm. And make sure the little, the opening of the arm is facing outwards. Because what you're going to do is you're going to take your servo motor and you're just going to pop it right in here.
Little tiny screw.
So, yep.
Little tiny screw.
Little tiny screws and little screwdrivers. So once you've attached your wheel to your servo motor arm, then you're going to insert it into the servo motor just like that, and then you have your wheel. The next thing you want to do is attach the servo motor cable to your crock clips cables. Now we talked that the color of this one doesn't matter, but the color of this one does matter. So let me show you a picture really quick.
Brown is ground.
Yeah, so this is a picture of what the colors mean. Cyan, can you explain?
All right, so the brown, as we looked at earlier, there's like this ground pin on the circuit playground. That's what the ground is going to be connected
That's right, yeah.
to. So the brown one, you can think about it. The brown is like ground,
Mm-hmm.
and then like the red is basically like the energy.
That's right, that's power, right? The red is power, and that's what you're going to attach to what pin on this?
A1.
No, the V out pin. Yeah.
The yellow one's gonna be attached to A1.
That's right, Sage. Yeah, so the yellow one attaches to A1, the red one attaches to V out, and the brown one attaches to what?
Brown one attaches to GND because that stands for ground.
That's right. Yeah, GND for ground.
Yellow one is what is the yellow one?
The yellow one is A1. So that's actually your signal or the data that we're sending across. So so once you've attached your crock clips cables into the end of your servo motor cable, I would also put a piece of tape around this connection just to make sure that they don't fall out. And then again, use these to attach to the correct pins.
You are getting
Are you trying to hypnotize me?
Is
So
it
then
working?
attach these to the correct Circuit Playground
Is
Express.
it working?
I'm not getting too sleepy right now. No. All right, so once you've done that and attached your continuous servo motors to your Circuit Playground Express, then you're going to want to attach the servo motor to your rover. So you can see how Cyan did hers here. So she used some hot glue and just glued it onto the end of this stick here that she had stuck through. And for Sage's, he glued it right onto the bottom. So you can see, just take your servo motor and glue it onto the bottom or onto the sides of your robot, depending on where you want to put the wheels. So again, the wheels kind of fit right here on your servo motors. And then you're going to want to affix the Circuit Playground Express somewhere on your robot. So take a piece of tape and loop it around to form a double-sided piece of tape and just stick it on the back of your Circuit Playground and kind of just tape down the cables. The next thing we need to do is attach the batteries, right? So who can tell me how to do that?
Can I?
Yeah.
So, on batteries, they have a plus and minus side.
Yep.
The minus right here.
And then you're going to want to put
The
those in the
plus.
battery pack, right?
The plus is on the orange side and the
Yeah.
minus is on the
We
blue
see
side.
that.
So, I think you put the minus part on the spring.
That's right.
So you put the minus on the spring
You want to show people? Yep. Very good.
and you put the plus
On the opposite side.
on the opposite side.
Yep. So once you've stuck all your batteries in your battery pack, then you put the backing on it. So how do you do that, Sage?
You just simply
You slide it in,
you
right? Hold it up.
you simply slide it in until until you hear that
Yep.
sound.
And then you want to attach your battery pack to the Circuit Playground. And how do you do that, Sage?
You plug the white thing into this black thing.
Yeah, you have to make sure you get the groove lined up just right.
Yeah. Where the line on the white thing.
Yeah. Yep.
There's a line on one part of the little white thing, and you just
Insert it in.
insert it
Yep.
into the black part, so that the part with the line sticking out goes on the top.
Yeah, and then once your batteries are connected, you need to find a place to put them. Now they're quite heavy, so and you're gonna have 2 battery packs on your robot, so make sure that they're balanced correctly. So Sage put his inside here, inside of this little frog, one kind of on the front and one kind of on the back to make sure it's a little bit balanced. And Cyan put hers on one on each side, right, Cyan? So
Yep, like bags.
yeah, like bags, exactly. So just make sure that they're balanced on your robot when you're attaching the battery packs. Okay, so I think we're done with the making. Are we done with the making
Yep,
part?
now it's time for coding.
Now it's time for coding.
I think Sage should code.
Favorite
since
part.
I coded last time.
Okay, Cyan coded last time. You up for coding with me, Sage?
Okay.
So enthusiastic. Okay.
Totally, am I right?
All right, so we're gonna code here together. So the first thing we want to do, Sage, is what website do we want to go to?
Circuit Playground Express.
We want to go MakeCode.com.
Oh, MakeCode.com.
Yeah. So open up a web browser to MakeCode.com, and you'll get to this page. And from this page, what do we select, Sage?
We select Circuit Playground Express.
That's right. So we select this button, and we'll get into our Adafruit Circuit Playground Express editor. So there's no tutorial for this project, so we're just going to click New Project here to open up a brand new project. Now, Sage, can you tell me, how did we start and stop our rovers? What did you do?
Well, to start it, we had to press button A.
We pressed button A.
On both of the circuit playgrounds.
That's right. And how did we stop it?
One's on the top and one's on the bottom.
Mm-hmm. And how did we stop it?
We stop it, we press B.
Button B. That's right. So let's delete this forever block. So I'm just going to drag it over to my toolbox and let go and delete that. And then I'm going to open up my input toolbox drawer. And what blocks do you think we need, Sage?
Blocks?
Yeah. I'll give you a hint. I'm hovering over it with my mouse right now.
Oh, button A.
On button A, click. Yes. And we also need an on button B click, which is actually the same block, but we're just going to change this from button A to button B. So now that we have our two blocks, one is going to start our engines and one is going to stop the engines, right? So to actually start our servo motors, I'm going to go to a category that's hidden under this Advanced tab. And what do you think, which one do you think we're going to find our servo motor blocks in? I'll give you a hint. My
pins?
Pins, that's right. Because we're using the pins to actually connect with our servo motor, right? So I'm going to click on the pins toolbox drawer, and I'm going to find this servo. So you notice there's a category called servo, the servo right pin block, and I'm going to drag and drop it into my on button A pressed. And you'll notice that the servo is already connected to A1. And that was the same pin that we used, right, to connect our servo motor. It was A1. Now, unlike the 180-degree servo motors, this value in here doesn't denote an angle, but rather direction and speed. So this is kind of just nothing. But if we were to put this all the way to 180, that means move forward very fast. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's how we're going to move our continuous servo motor forward fast. Now for button B, how are we going to stop it? So to stop it, we're actually going to use an analog right pin. So this block right here, and we're just going to send it a value. So we're going to send pin A1 a value of 0, which means don't do anything, stop completely. So that's how we're actually going to stop our servo motor. So now, the only thing I think we should do is add some lights. What do you think? When we press button A, we should turn on the lights to indicate that it's going.
Well, mine had lights.
Yeah, yours did. Yeah. So I think we should use maybe
any color you want.
Any color you want, but what color would you like, Sage, to indicate go?
Well, since go's let's have green, since it's kind of like a traffic light.
I think that's a good idea. So
green's for go.
Green's for go.
Stop.
And we'll get another set all pixels block for the stopping, and we'll leave it at red for stop. Yep. So that's all we need to do for our continuous servo motors. When you're ready with this, we can click download to download it to our Circuit Playground Express. So Sage, can you tell me how we connect our Circuit Playground to our computer?
You put the Circuit Playground
You connect it onto your USB cable that's plugged into your computer.
Yeah,
There's like a silver kind of port on there.
silver port. On the other side,
Yep.
like a silver port on the other side of this.
Yep. On the
The
other side of your
silver
battery
port.
pack. Yep.
You just plug your
USB cable.
your USB cable
Yeah.
into
Yep.
the
There you go.
into
Now, all the lights
so
should
play
turn green as soon as you plug it in. If they do not automatically all turn green, what should you do, Sage?
you press the tiny little button in between buttons A and B.
That's the reset button.
Reset.
Yeah, you just press and release that reset button, and that should just reset the device. And then all the lights should turn green, which indicates that it's ready to go. It's plugged in and recognized as a USB drive on your computer. So once that's done, then what do you do, Sage?
Then you press download.
You press the download, the big pink download button here on your browser. And what that will do is it'll save your program file into your downloads folder. So I'm going to click on show in folder to show my downloads folder. So this is my downloads folder here. And it's got Circuit Playground entitled .uf2. And then what do we need to do to get it onto here? Just copy it over, right?
Yeah.
Copy that file over. Or you can just drag and drop the file. Here, why don't you hold this? Drag and drop the file onto where it says C Play Boot, which is our Circuit Playground Express connected to our computer. So just drag and drop it or copy and paste it over to that USB drive. And then your program is loaded. And then you can press, you want to press button A and press button B?
At the same time?
No, just one at a time, just to check our program is. Okay, can you show the camera?
Yeah, so,
That's button B to stop. That's button A to go. Good job. And you could also add some sounds if you wanted, like a startup sound or something for go and a stopping sound for stop.
yeah.
Yeah. Now, one thing I do want to mention is you'll notice that our servo motors are actually opposite. They're opposite directions. So if they were the same direction, they would both be on the same side of the car. But since we're flipping them over, you're going to need to slightly change your code for the left wheel. So this is the right wheel. And then for the left wheel, the thing that you're going to need to do is change this from 180 to 0. And that will essentially make your servo motor turn in reverse. And so that's what you're going to do for the left wheel. So then download that to your other Circuit Playground Express board for the other wheel. So you're going to have this one, 180 degrees for your right wheel, and then 0 for your left wheel. Now, one thing that for those of you who are a bit more advanced and want to take it a little bit further, you'll notice that in my robot, I used infrared as a way to remotely control my car. So I kind of like used another circuit playground. So I actually had 3 circuit playgrounds. I had 2 for the wheels and 1 for the remote control that I used to control it. So, so if you want to do that, I'll also put the code on the YouTube site. But essentially, the way it will work is if you had this as your controller, so meaning the circuit playground that you use to control your robot, you would want to use the infrared block. So infrared send number instead of the servo. So let's throw this away. So say we wanted to send 1 for go, and then we'll use infrared send number 0 for stop.
What if you want music?
Yes, good point. So if you want to play some music, we can do a play sound block. Would that be okay with you?
Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe what do you want to do? Which one?
Let's do power up.
Power up to start, okay. And then you want to pick another one to stop?
Power down.
Power down, okay. Yeah, so this would be the controller one. So when I press button A, it's going to set all the pixels to green. It's going to play power up, and it's going to send an infrared signal to another Circuit Playground Express. When I press button B, it's going to set all the pixels to red. It's going to play the power down song, and it's going to send infrared number 0 to my other ones. So this would be the code for the controller. So I'm just going to write controller here. Now for the wheels, I'm going to create a new project for the wheels. And for the wheels, you're going to have very similar to what we had before for the wheels, but instead of the button press being the trigger, we're going to use an on infrared received number block. So to kick this off. And then we're going to need to evaluate if it's either 0 or 1, either stop or start, right? And to do that, we use something called a conditional. Do you know what a conditional statement is, Sage?
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
tell
like,
us.
like you have to eat your vegetables to have ice cream.
Okay, yeah. So
Like,
if we
so
were to
you have
say
to
that,
do something to get this.
if your vegetables were eaten, then you can eat ice cream. Else or otherwise, what happens?
Otherwise, you don't get to
Otherwise,
eat your
you
ice cream.
don't get ice cream, and maybe you have to go to bed early or something like that. So, yeah, so this is a conditional statement. So what we're going to be evaluating is whether or not we got sent a 0 or a 1, right? So we're going to use these comparison blocks here to evaluate that. So I'm just going to drop that in here. And the variable we're going to use is this num variable. So this is the whatever number we received from the other Circuit Playground Express. So if num equals, let's say 1, right, that was the go, then we can, do our pins, right? So do the right servo motor pin to like 180. Yeah, that was it. And then we can also set the pixels to green, meaning this is go, right? Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
and then if it's not 1, what should we do? Then it's going to be 0, right? Because there's only 2 numbers we sent across, either 0 or 1.
Yeah.
So if it's not 1, then it's going to be 0, and we're going to have to stop, right?
Yeah.
So, and remember we use this analog right pin to stop our servo motor. So we're going to set that to 0.
And then you have to, and if you, and you
What?
have to, you have to do set all pixels to red.
Very good. Yes. So we need to grab the set all pixels block too and set it to red. So now, this is the code for our wheel. So if we get an infrared value from the controller that's 1, right, we're going to go fast and we're going to set it to green. If we don't, that means it's going to be a 0 and that's going to be a stop, right? So we're going to stop our motors. So this is the code for the right wheel, and remember you'd have the same code for the left wheel, but then this would be 0 because we'd want it to go in the opposite direction. So that's a nice way. If you have 3 circuit playgrounds hanging around, you can use 1 as the controller, remote controller, and then 2 for the wheels on your rover robot. So I think that's it for our project this week. I'll post the code along with this video, so if you want to take a look at the code yourself, you're welcome to do that. Cyan, do you want to come back here and say goodbye to everyone?
Yes, I am coming.
All right. So thanks so much for...
I'm coming.
You're coming.
Yoda, I am.
Okay. Thanks so much for another great episode of Making and Coding in the Kitchen. With continuous servo motors. And what are we going to do next week, you guys?
I don't know.
What do you want to do, Sage?
Well, what have we not done on this circuit
Good question. So we did servo motors. We did both continuous and 180-degree servo motors.
We haven't done LED lights.
LED lights. That's a great idea.
We could do lightsabers.
Yeah, so next week we'll work on NeoPixels with the Circuit Playground Express, and we'll come up with a really cool project.
I want to hang them around my closet and then just have, and then it'll just come down to
Yeah, so
microwave.
it'll be like around your closet, and then maybe on clap
on the
you can activate them.
on the lights, and then
Yeah.
it'll just come down and
It'll
then
hang
it'll be
down.
the servo motor.
Oh, a servo motor as well.
I mean, no, not a servo motor, a
Circuit Playground
circuit
Express.
playground and express, and then a battery pack. So I just turn on the battery pack, press A.
Press the button, and then the lights go crazy. That sounds
Yeah.
wonderful. That's a great idea. So we'll
Press
work
A.
on that for
Different
next
type.
week.
A different type.
Oh, nice. Great. Well, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.